And my name is Judy Bradley, and we are the co-creators of Wise Women.
So something fun and exciting, and I know Judy loves all the technical stuff, but we are actually periscoping this today, and we're doing that live. This is normally going to be something that is only available for our Wise members, but we are periscoping it out to the community of periscopers so they can check us out and get to know what it is that we do here. So just during the beginning part, which I know Janae is really excited about, but we just want to welcome all of the Periscope people who've tuned in, so we can all, the camera's back there.
You don't even know it's there.
No,
you don't even know it's there.
But the nice thing is you'll be able to go back and watch today for 24 hours. If you have Periscope, you can jump on there. So
new technology, not my forte. So just by a show of hands, how many people are new today? First time? Oh my gosh, awesome! Thank you so much. And thank you, Wise Women, for inviting our friends. Thank you, our new friends. Thank you so much. Well, the topic for today is Reflect and Renew. And last year, we took August off at Wise Women so that everyone could do a little reflect and renew in August. And this year we decided not to do that, and we decided to just keep our topic the same, but still come together so that we could all kind of reflect and renew. So it's just beyond the halfway point of the year, reflecting on how the year's gone so far, how you would like to see the year end, maybe reflecting on some good things, maybe reflecting on some things that didn't work out so well, and renewing some commitments. So we've got a fun guest speaker. We have a Wise Woman who's going to share today on some of the things that she's been reflecting and renewing on. So I'm going to share a quick passage, or a little vignette from a book. You guys are probably familiar with it. Don't worry, make money. It's the same, don't sweat the small stuff. Everything's the small stuff, that same author. So I was in the library the other day, and I was in the library the other day.
She needs a reading room at home.
Yes. In the reading room at home the other day. And I came across this piece. These are all little vignettes, and so I thought that this was perfect for today. It's called Use the Power of Reflection. Reflection is one of the most underused yet powerful tools for success. It is a passive way to pinpoint solutions and strategies with the least amount of effort or wasted energy. It's the opposite of trying too hard, It's the opposite of trying too hard, of forcing an answer. Reflection is more a matter of allowing an answer to unfold right before your eyes, often with little or no effort on your part. One of the benefits of reflection is that it enables us to get our egos out of the way. In a quiet state of mind, we are able to see things clearly, including our own contributions to problems, new ways of doing things, and the ways we get in our own way. Reflection allows us to sense our self-imposed limitations and some of the blind spots in our thinking. This spoke to me. I don't know if it's speaking to any of you, but it really spoke to me. Reflection is simply a matter of getting out of your own way. It's about quieting down your mind so that answers can arise within the quietness. Often, when we're looking for an answer, we turn up the volume of our thinking. This might be called active problem solving. We think, and then we think some more. I don't do that. Or worry, and worry some more. That's not in here, I paraphrased that. We get personally involved in the process. We take the credit for finding solutions and the blame when we cannot. For the most part, when we are actively thinking, we're thinking about that which we already know, that which we are familiar. We try to solve a problem with the same level of understanding that initially created it, and often we go around in circles. People who regularly use reflection, on the other hand, understand that we are connected to and a part of a deeper intelligence. This quiet source of wisdom is available to all of us in unlimited doses because it is always present. The only factor preventing us from hearing or being connected to this wisdom is the noise or chatter of our own thinking, all that white noise that we have to deal with on a regular basis. When we turn the volume of our thinking down, we can begin to sense this deeper intelligence. This is reflection. Recently, I was engaged in an interpersonal conflict with someone I was working with. In my mind, I was blaming him for virtually all of our problems. The more I thought about it, the more convinced I was that the problem was him. It got so bad, this is his story, not mine, by the way. It got so bad that I considered breaking up the partnership, which to that point had been very successful. My wife, Chris, suggested I stop thinking about it entirely and postpone making any decisions. She suggested instead that I take a drive and spend some time in quiet reflection. I took her advice. As I quieted down, it became clear to me that a great deal of our problems were actually coming from me. I could see how I was contributing to our poor communication and unrealistic expectations. You may be shocked at how easily most problems can be solved when you simply step out of the way by quieting down. You may also be pleasantly surprised at the ease with which new and creative ideas will flow into your life. Although your mind will be quiet, it won't be turned off. Instead, you will be using a new part of your mind, a softer, wiser part. I love that. Underline wiser part. That understands the path of least resistance and the source of all new answers. Success is often a function of doing something exceptionally well or more creatively than it has been done before. Reflection is a powerful vehicle to bring this about. So hopefully y'all got a little bit from that. I thought it was really a good connection to what we're talking about today. So I'm going to let you take over. So just so that we didn't really give you an introduction here in the beginning, but what we do here at WISE, for those of you who are new, we spend the first 10 or 15 minutes in a mindset. So that's kind of our mindset for today. And then we go into 20 to 30 minutes of a workshop training. So that's where we're going to have our guest speaker come up. And then our focal point for being here is you getting the opportunity to mastermind with a wonderful wise woman at your table. And we do allow 40 to 45 minutes for you to do that. We'll go over a little bit of the details with that before we get started. But I'm going to turn it over to Karen.
All right, thank you. I love that story. I know for me that quieting my mind is a tricky thing. And when I do, there's so much clarity that comes out of it. And I learned about the idea of taking the month of August off. My church actually takes the month of August. Some AC3ers here, they take the month of August off, which is a very strange thing to do. But they do that so they can get quiet and reflect on what they're doing and to be able to rejuvenate and go forward. And so when we started WISE, we decided we wanted to do that. Well, then last year, after the second year in a row of taking August off, we went, that's too long. We miss our wise women. We don't want to take the month off, but we definitely want to give you permission and give you, this time to be able to really reflect on where you are, to be able to quiet your mind and see if there's areas that you want to renew or refocus. And, I've been kind of watching somebody from the outside world. We come and we see each other here, but sometimes we don't have a chance to really get to know somebody. And I've been watching Janae, who I'm going to bring up here in a second. I've been kind of just witnessing what she's been going through, and I've noticed this change in what she was doing and how she was putting herself out there with her business. And it just seemed like she was being really intentional in a lot of things. And so when this topic came up, I said, hey Janae, would you be willing to come talk? And she said yes, which is awesome. So for those of you who do not know Janae, I'd love to introduce you to her as she comes on up. This is Janae Fletcher Brown. Are you comfortable if we stand? Is that okay, or do you want a chair?
I'm way out of my comfort
Okay. Are you okay if do you want me to hold the microphone, or do you want one to?
That one's on over there if you want to grab it. It'll help if you hold it, Janae.
It does. It makes it feel a little. The neat thing about Janae, she is the owner of Smoky Point Massage Therapy, and I've had a chance to be there one time, and it was actually with another massage therapist, because you were right there, but I had a great time. So if you get a chance up in Smoky Point to go see her, she's amazing. So So what I've seen over the last year is just kind of this renewed spirit in you and the way that you kind of put yourself out there. And I'm just wondering, if there's been kind of a certain point that this has happened for you that started you down this journey. The shift, yeah.
I've been in business, for starters. I've been self-employed basically my whole life, except part-time jobs, on and off, through college and all that. But I've always had something going on my own. And so this is my 15th year in this particular business. And I just decided this year to do things that scare me. And I'm doing one right now. I'm actually very quiet. Probably some of you don't know me because I am really quiet. But I just decided I needed to get out of my comfort zone. I needed to do different things. I love my massage business because it's very, personal, and there's the one-on-one connection. But I've grown that from that until I have 7 employees now and an office manager and all of that. And every time I took a step, I was scared to death. Just like I had to have faith that would work out, and I'm very particular about looking at my numbers, but you have to have that base to be able to feel that you can be successful. So anyway, just doing things that scare me. So if you've noticed a shift in the last year, it's probably because I'm trying to branch out and face my fears about being in front of people and just exposing myself, being vulnerable, showing my personal side of my life with my business. So.
Well, it's been really neat to see you. And when I say see, I see through social media, whether it's your Instagram, or your Facebook, or the different places that you've been, being able to watch some of that. And when you and I talked yesterday, you were talking about kind of your morning routine and how that's played a piece of all of this.
Yeah, big deal for me. And when I get off of it, because I noticed this morning I was a little worried about doing this, and so I'm like messing around on my phone and doing stuff. And I thought, okay, I got to do this. So I did a little bit of quiet reflection, so that was the perfect thing to say today. And a little bit of yoga, and not that I'm pro at that, but I just have a mat in my room, so I don't make it a big deal, just throw it up. And just really thinking quietly about what this day is going to be like, or how can I do this. And normally I pack my lunch with care, but today I get taken care of. And just having a routine, allocating time to, set your intentions really for the day has been very helpful to me.
The other thing that really, I sat there yesterday when we were talking, and I was taking personal notes for me. It had nothing to do with preparing for this talk. It was just the things she was saying that were really hitting for me. And one of the things that you talked about is surrounding yourself with opportunities to grow. And I thought that was really interesting too. And I love that triggered, reflect. I thought when I'm reflecting, where are areas that I could grow in? And so, do you share how that's looked for you?
Yeah, that's kind of a personal mix. It's a business and a personal mix, because obviously we can grow by learning more about business stuff, our money, our website, our social media presence, things like that. But also, I decided to personally just try a bunch of new things, and within that, I sort of challenged myself, my emotional self, my fears, but also it just sort of fed me in all sorts of ways. Like I did a paddleboard yoga class. I didn't know what I was doing. I was super scared, and I went on this retreat with women I thought would be like, awesome, whatever. And it was the most supportive, loving thing I'd done in years. Really, it was great. And so just trying to get out of my zone on a business level, but just trying new things personally. Saying yes to more things. So.
Well, and that's what I loved when I asked you, and you had shared that you had just the choosing love over fear.
Oh yeah, okay. It was really, really hot, as all of you know, and it was when she asked me to do this. So I was up online, just sitting on the couch. My bedroom was smoking hot. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. And I just read this book, just a segment. about choosing love over fear, like when you're really afraid of something or like feeling challenged. It's usually because it's important or you have some feeling about it. But I've decided, and this book spurred this on, is to choose love over fear. Like, okay, that would enhance my life, or I would feel the love of people or the love of business, love in a general sense. And so when she contacted me
at 10:30 at night, that was weird.
And I'm normally a super early person. I'm embarrassed to say, like in the winter, I'm in bed at like 8. And it's like, okay. But so she contacted me
on Facebook.
On Facebook. No,
don't worry, I won't do that to anybody.
And I'm like, okay. 3 seconds, I said yes. And I'm like, oh. It's a little expletive came out of my mouth. But I did it. And so that's part of what I'm talking about, is just choosing love over fear. And even though it's scary. And so that's a pretty good one I keep in my head, love over fear.
Well, I love that. And that's something that I've seen. So I knew of Janae when I worked at the Arlington Smoky Point Chamber, because she's a chamber member, and I, met her in passing a few times. And then when she came to WISE, just saw this change in her and just really getting out more. And it definitely, when you said that, choose love over fear, I could see that that's actually, for those of us who are, getting to know you, we can see that, right, Judy? I remember when you first came and Judy said she was really excited that you were here because you were getting out of your comfort zone just to be here. So, yeah, that's been really neat that not only are you living that, but that's what's being shown as well. So, you touched on this already, but I just want to ask because it really stood out to me when we're talking about reflecting. And this is more on your business sense, that you actually touch your business every day as far as looking at your finances and looking at kind of the bottom line. And that was really interesting when you said that. Would you share, what you do and kind of why your thought process on it? Yeah.
I do that because I don't think it matters if you have $12 or $12,000, $120,000. I think you need to honor whatever you have. And in my mind, because I've been through various stages of all those money ranges, that you just need to take a look. And I do. I take a look every single day. I touch in, I look at my bank account, I look at my QuickBooks. If you're not keeping track of your money on some sort of level, it could be a little ledger. It doesn't matter what it is. But it's super important. I mean, if you're in business, it's just important. And so I kind of make it a game. Like, oh, this is fun, and I really take a look at everything and make friends with it, honor what you have and be creative if you're a little low that month, or be excited if you, had a great month, it's just honoring whatever you have and setting goals for yourself.
I like that, and you said it right there, that making friends with it.
Oh, yeah.
That was something that I picked up from when you talked to me.
I think it's kind of fun.
Yeah. That's neat. So, is there anything that you want to share that you haven't shared already with everybody?
That I'm hiding away?
Well, I mean, like
I have a few things I'm hiding away.
Things that are coming up, if you want to share, any piece that we talked about yesterday that you have a chance to share.
Just that I feel like with this step out that I've been trying to do personally, I decided to take a little vertical leap on my business. Massage, I love massage, it's great. But I'm launching in the next year. I set a goal for myself to launch a kind of a self-care, accountability, trying new things, everything really I just talked about. And I'm not doing it to make money at this point. I'm doing it for fun. And so I'm developing a website. I have a new Facebook page, which is like very tiny. But I just, and I haven't even broadcast it yet. This is it. I think last Mastermind, who I was sitting with, I did say something to those 4 people, and then yesterday, and but I am doing that, and I'm just super excited about it, and it just seems like a really good match to taking care of yourself, and I want to grow old gracefully, and I just think it sounds fun. So I'm in this stage of developing that.
I want to grow old gracefully.
I know.
You?
Isn't that awesome?
Let's all grow old gracefully with her.
I really want to do that. So.
Well, Janae, I thank you so much for stepping outside of your comfort zone. I know for a lot of us, getting up and speaking in front of people pushes us, but I know that the things that you shared, yesterday and today have just really touched me, and I know there's other people. Does anybody have a question that they want to ask Janae? Any questions?
Came to mind when she was talking. I love how it was the love over fear, because I think fear holds us back so much, and if you can shift that to doing what you love and how that can affect you, I think that was huge for me. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. Oh, there's one right here.
What's the name of the book? Love Over Fear?
No, it's actually Rachel Bratham. She's a yoga instructor. I went to one of her classes, and she's like 25 years old.
Doesn't know anything.
But really young wisdom, and it was a little section in her book. But she has a very good online presence, and I'm sure if you did, it's Rachel, as in Rachel, and then it's Brathen. Yeah, and it's very snippet, small. Sometimes I don't have time to read a giant book. So I'll just get a little chapter. Yeah.
So my question is, so now that you're finding more time to challenge yourself in some new exciting ways, how has it impacted you overall? Is your life more exciting for you every day? Is work exciting to go to? Do you feel rejuvenated every day? I mean, how does that, or is it, how does it change you?
A combination of that, because I feel tired too, because I'm putting out a lot of energy, and but I do feel excited. Yeah, I do feel excited. So it's kind of a combination. I will admit when I'm doing, trying to launch something or try to figure out something, website or gathering email, making a button, I mean, all sorts of stuff. I'm like, dang, that's, it makes me tired kind of, but then once I get it done, I'm like, oh, that wasn't so hard. so it's kind of a combination. Yeah.
Kim, you had a question?
I like how you said when you're afraid of something, if it's kind of like a love and fear thing, it must be really, really important, and you're kind of jumping off that cliff and having to do that, and it's standing in, I guess, having the courage to stand in and bring it or to reach it. And to be, but not in fear, that is.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's scary sometimes.
Another question?
I like what you said about the morning routine and the morning ritual, and Christiane Northrup, who wrote the book Aging Gracefully, or Ageless Graceful Living,
Yeah.
or whatever, about women as we age, and sometimes that energy that you're giving out makes you feel tired. She said, just do one thing, and maybe that's just making your bed today, and starting with just making the bed. And she said, and then I would try to think about decluttering my life, and she said, just clean the sink. So just pick one thing to start, and I just love how you said that, and that the rituals begin with your day.
Rituals do help, and I like the idea that you don't, I'm going to do all this stuff,
Right.
But no, you just do what you can and be grateful for that. Yeah, for sure.
Your love over fear kind of thing reminded me of something I was doing for myself, and so I'm thinking that everybody else might have a different thing that they want to challenge that they can juxtapose. Like for me, I had gotten to a point where I was isolating and I had no energy to even get out. And so for me, it was like if I have a conflict, a calendar conflict, if one draws me towards people or one draws me home, I will choose the people. And so I was thinking that we all might have something we want to challenge, and we can pick a juxtapose. It might not be, love over fear, but
It's the same concept.
Right.
Yeah. Because I'm definitely a person that gets renewal from being quiet and peaceful and walk by myself, but I also like, people.
And being able to put yourself in situations that are growing you.
It's a balancing act for sure.
When you were just saying that, it made me think that when you feel love, you can't feel fear.
You can't feel the same at the same time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
This is
Although
what I
I'm
love.
feeling a little right now.
We love you.
Yes.
So yeah, good point though. That's true. So
Thank you so
much.
much.
I appreciate you sharing. I think what we love the most. What we love the most is that, you know, we're all just the same. We're all
Yes.
battling the same things. We're all just doing the same stuff. So it's really fun to hear how others are dealing with that. So I have another little story.
I'd love to hear it.
And then
Does
we're gonna-
anybody else want to hear it? Yes. I thought so.
All right. So this is the same author, the other book, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and it's all small stuff.
And Judy brought that for me today, by the way.
Both of these stories were for Karen, not me. So just saying. Just saying. I'm just kidding. So this one is called Get Comfortable Not Knowing.
This is for me.
There once was a village that had among its people a very wise old man. I'm going to call him woman. I'm going to say that there was a very wise old woman. The villagers trusted this woman to provide them answers to their questions and concerns. One day, a farmer from the village went to the wise woman and said in a frantic tone, "Wise woman, help me, a horrible thing has happened. My ox has died and I have no animal to help me plow my field. Isn't this the worst thing that could have possibly happened?" The wise old woman replied, "Maybe so, maybe not." I mean, that's a woman talking, not a man. I just have to say, it's really a woman talking, not a man. The farmer, the man, hurried back to the village and reported to his neighbors that the wise woman had gone mad. Surely this was the worst thing that could have happened. Why couldn't she see this? The very next day, however, a strong young horse was seen near the man's farm. Because the man had no ox to rely on, he had the idea to catch the horse to replace his ox. And he did. How joyful the farmer was. Plowing the field had never been easier. He went back to the wise woman to apologize. Of course he did. I love it when they have to say, "You were right." Because they hate saying that. My man hates saying that. He's so cute. "You were right, wise woman. Losing my ox wasn't the worst thing that could have happened. It was a blessing in disguise. I never would have captured my new horse had that not happened. You must agree that this is the best thing that could have happened." The wise woman replied once again, "Maybe so, maybe not." Not again, thought the farmer. Surely the wise woman had gone mad now. I'm taking this to one. This is fun. But once again, the farmer did not know what was to happen. A few days later, the farmer's son was riding the horse and was thrown off. He broke his leg and would not be able to help the crop. "Oh no," thought the man. "Now we will starve to death." Once again, the farmer, typical man, just overreacting. "Oh no," thought the man, "now we will starve to death." Once again, the farmer went to the wise woman. This time he said, "How did you know that capturing my horse was not a good thing? You were right again. My son is injured and won't be able to help with the crop. This time I'm sure that this is the worst thing that could have possibly happened. You must agree this time." But just as she had done before, the wise woman calmly looked at the farmer and in a compassionate tone replied once again, "Maybe so, maybe not." Enraged that the wise woman could be so ignorant, the farmer stormed back to the village. The next day, troops arrived to take every able-bodied man to the war that had just broken out. The farmer's son was the only young man in the village who didn't have to go. He would live while the others would surely die. The moral of this story provides a powerful lesson. The truth is, we don't know what's going to happen. We just think we do. Often we make a big deal out of something. We blow up scenarios in our minds about all the terrible things that are going to happen. Most of the time, we are wrong. If we keep our cool and stay open to possibilities, we can be reasonably certain that, eventually, all will be well. Remember, maybe so, maybe not. So,
That's good. Didn't know you were coming for story time today, huh?
me, the one that doesn't read, brought stories to share. It's like, is this on audio tape? I gotta put this on audio tape. So, does anybody have anything that you want to share, reflect, anything? Okay, well, we're
Maybe
gonna...
so, maybe not.
Maybe so, maybe not. Okay. Okay, yeah.
This was something, for those of you who've been watching, I'm a little addicted to the whole Periscope thing. And I saw a great talk the other day, and I wish I could remember the person who shared it. I will give them credit later. But they talked about the difference of perception and perspective. And this really hit me because, you know, Judy and I are building our business just like all of you are. And, you know, we are taking this month and resting and reflecting. And, you know, sometimes our perception, which is the ability to hear and see, it's our senses. Our senses can knock us off course. You know, we can react because we think, you know, something is going a certain way. When you have perspective and really a clear understanding, that's what perspective is. It gives you a chance to get a clear mindset. So just the difference in those two words, your perception versus your perspective, that hit me big time. And not just always leaning on my own, what I can see, hear, and touch, but actually getting perspective, backing up, looking at the big picture of what's going on, and really reflecting. Because if you're just going off that, bouncing off the walls, reacting to whatever's hitting you, it's not going to work out too well. You're going to call Judy at 10:30 at night or 9 o'clock at night and panicking over something that didn't need to be panicked. But when I had a chance,
Go have a glass of wine and relax.
Yes.
That would be my answer.
Yes. But actually, you know, being able to stop leaning on my own perception and get perspective has just been huge. So I want to leave you with that while we go into our mastermind.
Yep.
So
here's how the next part is going to work for those of you who are new. This is our mastermind time. There's really no rules other than we are not a networking group. That's the first and foremost. You are not here to grab a client, sell yourself. You're here to just be here for you, to just gain reflection, get input on whatever you would love to have input on. There's no real rules. What that means, sometimes you can walk in here going, I got nothing today. I'm good, life's good, nothing's happening. But maybe something you heard today kind of triggered something that you want to share. Maybe you're dealing with an expansion in your business. Maybe it's something, on a semi-personal level that you feel comfortable sharing. There's really no rules. We will give each person approximately 8 minutes. I think we're going to try to go 40 minutes. So if we have 5 to a table, that's 40 minutes. We actually have pretty much 4 to a table. Do you guys have an empty spot back there? Back here? So one of you two ladies could go to that back table, and then you could join another table, and we'll do, we'll plan on 5 to a table and do 8 minutes each. So, do you have to go?
We have 2 spots.
Okay, perfect. So if the 2 of you want to move back there to that table. And Erin, just so you know, is the branch manager of the new Coastal Bank that just opened in Marysville. So they've been building it down on 4th in the state. So it's kind of exciting for her. So we'll take just a couple of minutes for you guys to clean off your table, run, go potty, 3 or 4 minutes, and then we will come back and we'll get started on Mastermind.